So for explain 1, we're going to do one more problem before we have you do the one in your packet. Going over those exact same steps. This is pulled from your textbook, part B, f of x equals x squared minus 7. The first thing we're going to do is find our inverse, and then we'll restrict our domain. I'm going to actually restrict the domain first. Remember, domain is going to be just the positive numbers for x. Alright, so just positive numbers, positive values for our x values. So for x, I'm going to want all values that are positive. So that would be x is going to be greater or equal to 0, because that's all of our positive values. They will be greater or equal to 0. The next thing I would do is to find the inverse, which is to, so it says replace f of x with y. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Y equals x squared minus 7. To get x by itself, I'm going to do the opposite of subtracting, which is to add 7. So that would be, I could write this as 7 plus y or y plus 7, whichever. 7 take away 7 is just 0. And x to the second power, it says use the definition of a positive square root. So again, I'm going to square root both sides. And what that's going to do is it's going to cancel out my squaring. And so I'm left with x equals the square root of y plus 7. The next thing it's going to ask me to do is to switch the x and y values. So I'm going to do that. So that would be y equals x plus 7, square rooted of course, and that says replace y with f inverse x. So all I'm doing is writing the exact same equation I just found, but just replacing that. Alright. The next thing they're going to ask us to do is to again confirm the inverse relationship using composition. We're going to go ahead and skip that actually, and actually confirm using our graphing. So I'm going to write down the equations here that we found, which were f of x equals x squared minus 7. So f of x equals x squared minus 7. And the other inverse that we found, f of inverse x is square root x plus 7. F inverse x square root x plus 7. And we're going to again use that tool Desmos to create a table of values, as well as confirming that these two are indeed inverses. Confirming that inverse relationship. Alright, so let's go ahead and open that up. Yes, we will keep those, and I'll minimize here. So this is from the last equation that we had, but I want to do a new graph, so I'm going to go ahead and X out these, and I'm going to erase the old equations from the last one. Again, I'm going to use positive values only, and my equations are, so that I can see them and copy them down, are x, so let me use my keyboard, x squared minus 7 and square root x plus 7. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and you can see that they kind of show a little bit of a relationship, but I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little and see that although there's dots, I do want to see a better relationship of both of those, so I'm going to go ahead and write in y equals my first equation, which is x squared minus 7, x squared minus 7, and my second equation, which is y equals square root x plus 7 and see if that relationship holds as a reflection over y equals x. So as I can see here, oh, I don't want to zoom out that much. They kind of do, actually. They form a reflection over that. In fact, they cross right on that line there. They're kind of inverses of each other. Let me zoom out a little bit more so I can kind of see. Again, I'm just concerned about the positive, which is why I'm just kind of looking at where all my x values are positive. So I can kind of see like, oh, that is a reflection over that. Alright, so let's try that out. We can go ahead and record that here if we'd like on our own paper. But go ahead and try out now that you've seen how we find inverse, we restrict our domain, how we're able to graph. Go ahead and now try on your own explain, restricting the domain.